All right, welcome in, guys. This is the proposals for the 2018 season of the Dover Fantasy League. The competition committee met a couple of weeks ago to review the constitution that I have drafted up for our league, and we went through and identified some of the points of contention and things that needed to be worked on and things we would like to propose to you as changes for this 2018 season. So, to get right into it, the first thing that we wanted to talk about was league fees. Currently, we are paying $20 for the league fees, and that gets you entry into the league. What I am proposing, or we as a committee are proposing, is an increase to $30. Now, 25 of that will go to the prize pool, and $5 will be put into the league pot. The league pot is used for things such as purchasing the nameplates for the Brian and the Onion, which is the trophy for the loser this coming year. And we're going to be putting that towards that draft software that we use, the live draft. If you haven't made it to a live draft, you should come check it out. It's a lot of fun. Put it towards food and drink for the live draft party and the playoff party that we had last year. And any leftover money can be carried over to the next season, or we can add it to the prize pot each year, or we can go forward and figure out what to do with any extra money. However, I don't anticipate there being much, with the draft software being about $15 and food and drink for two different parties and nameplates for the Brian and the Onion. So $50 should pretty much cover all of that, and it's a contribution from all of us so that we can keep this league fun and more interesting. However, if there is any leftover money, maybe we save it, get some swag every couple of years or something, make the league really, really legitimate. All right. Now, as far as payouts, previously we have been operating under the following percentages. First place gets 70%, which with the new entry fees would be $175. Second place would double their money and get $50, and third place would get $25, their own money back. A proposal that we're making is lowering first place a little bit down to $150. That's a nice, solid, even number. It's a nice, I want $150. It's a good number. Second place would be getting 22% of the prize pool. That's $55. That's all of their money back from this year, plus $25 that they can put towards next year's entry fee. Third place would get 12%, which would be all of their money back for this year, which is $30. And then we're adding in a little kink to this, where the top regular season team would get 6% of the prize pool, which is $15, half their money back. And that's for teams like Joey, who went 11-2 this year, but have nothing to show for it, even though they only lost 2 games in the regular season. So giving that top regular season team a little bit of money to show that they did a good job, a little bit of incentive to stay active during that regular season, try and maintain that top spot. All right, so that's money. Next, we'll move on to rosters and transactions. The big one, had fights about it all year, waivers. So we're proposing to move on from waiver priority to what's called free agent acquisition budget, or FAB. So I'm going to talk about FAB on the next couple of slides. There's a couple different kinds of FAB. I'll explain it. You can rewatch this video if you don't understand it. You can text me if you don't understand it. Or you can go check out this PowerPoint on the website that I'll show you a little bit later. So, free agent acquisition budget. Each owner will be given 100 fantasy dollars at the beginning of the year, and you'll have that money to make bids on players that you would want to acquire on your team from the waiver system. For example, on the next page, I'll show you that we have 4 teams here who would like to bid for David Johnson. Last year, David Johnson was hurt. There were some rumors he was coming back. So 4 teams went in to make bids on him around week 11 or something like that. And Team A has $12 left. Now, they want to try and acquire David Johnson, but they don't want to pay anything because they only have $12 left. So they're going to bid $0 just in case no one else bids. If no one else bids, then this player would be awarded to him for $0. he would drop Matt Jones and he would retain his $12. All right. However, in this case, 4 teams did make a bid, so Team A would not win. But Team B has $76. They decided to place a $44 bid on David Johnson, dropping Tony Romo if they were to be the winner, and their remaining budget, if they win, would be $32. Team C has $43. They want to bid $35. They would drop Le'Veon Bell. This must be Diddy's team. I don't know. And they would have $8 left if they win. Team D, their bid is $15, and they would have $6 left, and they would drop Jimmy Graham if they win. Now, you don't actually see these other teams' bids. It's a blind bidding system, so you'll put in what you think is this player is worth, and if somebody else thinks they're worth more, then they'll be awarded that player. If you have the highest bid, then you'll be awarded the player. So in this case, Team B would be awarded David Johnson. They would drop Tony Romo. David Johnson would be added. They would have $32 left. Everyone else, those players would stay on the team, Matt Jones, Le'Veon Bell, and Jimmy Graham, and they would retain the amount of money they had prior to making the bid. You don't just give your money away if you don't get the player. Okay, so that's free agent acquisition in a nutshell. There's 2 different kinds now. So in a little bit more detail, Fab is going to be the first way, and Fab Continuous will be the second way that you need to think about. So Fab operates on the same schedule as the former waiver system. So players lock at the start of their games, and they will stay on waivers until the following Wednesday morning. Wednesday morning, when waivers clear, owners get awarded the players that they placed bids on. So if you successfully placed a bid on a player, you would be awarded that player at like 4:30 in the morning. All the other players would become free agents until their game starts, and we can talk about advantages, disadvantages on the next slide. Fab Continuous is a little bit different. Fab Continuous is a blind bidding system that happens every day. So any player that nobody places a bid on returns to the waiver system, and you would have to place a bid on them that day. So Monday night, the games end, you can go in, place a bid. Tuesday morning, the players would be awarded, and any players who were not bid on remain in the waiver system, and you can go place another bid, and Wednesday morning you can wake up and see if you get them. And that happens on every day of the week. Okay? There's advantages and disadvantages to both, so let's talk about those on the next couple slides. So Fab, the original way, the one that only happens once a week, is any owner can make a bid for any player. And the other thing is you can place a $0 bid, limiting the issues of owners waking up early in the day to pick up free agents and retaining their waiver priority. So let's talk about the first bullet point. Any owner can make a bid. So if you are the worst team in the league and you have the top priority spot versus, let's say, you're the best team in the league and you have the 10th waiver priority, that person who's in the 10th waiver priority, if they value a player more than the person who has top waiver priority, they get them. So, for example, if Kalo was in 10th waiver priority and he thought that David Johnson was worth $25 and Eric was in the worst waiver priority, or top waiver priority, worst team in the league, then he bid $10. Even though Kalo's 10th on the waiver priority, he would get David Johnson because he put a higher value on him. All right, so that's what I mean by any owner can make a bid for any player. As far as the $0 bids, this helps out with the situation where, I don't want to lose my waiver priority, so I'm not going to make a bid on a player, and I'll wake up early because, Jim did that. Jim woke up at 4:15 every Wednesday morning, looked at which players weren't added, and added them so that he could retain top waiver priority in case someone huge went down with an injury and he wanted to claim their backup. So this limits that. All right, you don't want to place a bid, you place a $0 bid, and that counts. So that player won't be available the next day. If you're the only person who put a $0 bid, you'll get that player. All right. If two teams put a $0 bid, then the team who has the worst record would be awarded that player. Okay. Now disadvantages. Disadvantages to FAB are the same as some of the same as the waiver priority that we currently have. Owners who don't have access to fantasy during the day still have a disadvantage for claiming free agents. So, for example, the person this affects the most would be Aaron, because Aaron can't have his phone at work. So Aaron has Devontae Freeman, and Devontae Freeman goes down with an injury, and Aaron's at work. He has no idea that's happening, while the rest of us are at work and possibly can get notifications on our phone letting us know that, and we can rush out and try and get Tevin Coleman. All right. So that's a disadvantage, is any person who doesn't have access to their phone throughout the day is limited the same way they have been for the first 7 years of this league, where we don't in the regular waivers system. Now, another disadvantage is waiver order resets each week, so the lowest winning percentage team first. You can consider that an advantage or a disadvantage. I put it into the disadvantages because you never actually gain any ground on the waiver order lists. But again, it kind of makes sense that if there's a tie between two teams for what they bid, the lower winning percentage team goes first. And then another disadvantage is just it's going to be a learning curve for bidding. We're going to have to find out, we know Diddy's pretty savvy with his money. Kalo's definitely savvy with his money. He stores it in his yarmulke. And Kyle is a pretty frugal person. So you'd have to get used to your league mates and what their bidding style would be. All right. Moving on to Fab Continuous. So, Fab Continuous advantages: any owner can make a bid for any player, same as the other Fab. Another advantage, still the $0 bids. Now, this is a new advantage. Players who have limited internet access during the day, like Aaron, have a more equal opportunity to players. So, a major player like Le'Veon Bell goes down, we can all put in whatever we value James Conner at, his backup, and the next day we'll find out who gets him. Disadvantages. Learning curve, same thing. Waiver order resetting each week, same thing as the last slide. The disadvantage to Fab Continuous: if you have a player who's questionable, or if you have a player who you wake up on Sunday morning and something happened, they got an injury or an illness, and over the night from some bad food or something, or whatever the situation is, you wake up Sunday morning, day of the games, and those players can't play, then you can't actually go out and pick up a new player. Because if you didn't make the claim the day before, you're not going to get the player that day. So anybody who's questionable for Monday, you would have to really make that claim on Saturday, because if you find out Monday that they're not eligible to play, you're going to want to have a backup ready to go, and you might not make that claim until Sunday when you find out that player is questionable. So it is a disadvantage because there is no chance at all during the season to immediately add a player. All right, so those are the two Fab styles. And if you have any more questions, please text me. I know it can be confusing at first. If you're having trouble with a specific scenario, text me. I can explain it further. I have other resources I can send you, little articles. I can post those on the website and show you, have you explain or learn more about Fab. We really believe that Fab is the way to go. And I have heard from everyone who has started Fab, they've been resistant, and once they did it, they really enjoyed it. I'm eager to try and get that going in our league. Hopefully we can get that going. But if you are set in the ways of the waiver priority and you enjoy how that is going, then feel free to vote for that. Let's move on to the Onion Bowl. as we have told you and alluded to, we will be instituting a new trophy in the league this year. The new trophy will be called the Onion, and it will be awarded to the worst team in the league. The decision at hand for us right now will be, what will the Onion Bowl look like? We have a couple of options. First week of the playoffs could be the Onion Bowl, week 14, and then the last 2 weeks don't matter for those teams that aren't in the playoffs. The last week of the playoffs, week 16, so essentially they would have a 2-week bye that didn't count for anything, and then that third week during the Brian Bowl, the Onion Bowl would be going on, and whoever loses is the Onion Bowl, is the Onion. Another scenario could be the best of 3 series during the playoffs, so week 14, 15, and 16. Those two teams face off against each other, and whoever loses 2 of those games will be declared the Onion. And then a third and interesting option, which was proposed and I think is currently written in the Constitution, is cumulative record of regular season in the playoffs. So what that means is, first 3 options, self-explanatory. Week 14, that's the week of the Onion Bowl, first week of the playoffs. Week 16, last week of the playoffs, or a best of 3 series. The fourth option is the one that's outside the box, so I'm going to elaborate on that. Using last year as an example, heading into the playoffs, the Sack had a 4-9 record, while the Stinky Bagels had a 2-11 record. The Bagels beat the Sack 2 out of the 3 weeks during the playoffs, leading to a cumulative record of 4-12 for the Bagel and a 5-11 record for the Sack. The Bagel had the worst record overall and would therefore be declared the Onion. If there's a situation where there's a tiebreaker, let's say Aaron was 3-10 heading into the season and Kyle was 2-11, Kyle won 2 games and ended the season as 4-12, and Aaron also ended 4-12, we would do a head-to-head matchup during the regular season to see who won the overall record. Now, there's also the possibility where, let's say, Aaron was 5-8 in that regular season and didn't make the playoffs, and Kyle was still 2-11. If that's the case, Kyle would be mathematically unable to beat Aaron. So in that situation, what we're proposing is, if the owner who is mathematically eliminated is able to beat the other team 3 times out of 3, all 3 weeks, then they would avoid being the Onion, and the team that lost 3 games during the playoffs would end up being the Onion for that season. So these are the 4 choice things that we have to talk about. You can ask me information. You can text a league. I would do it in the group chat so that if you have a question, it gets answered in front of everyone, and everyone can, because other people probably would have the same question. If you want to do it privately, you can. I might ask if I can anonymously explain the question that was asked, and we'll go from there. But as for what to do now, what you're going to do is go to our new fancy league website. It is doverffl.weebly, weebly.com. And you're going to scroll down on the homepage to 2018 proposals for rule changes vote and cast your votes. If you want to read the Constitution, which is probably going to be amended based on how these votes go, or you want to look at this PowerPoint or video before casting your vote, you can do so on the website above. You'll click on the Constitutions page, and then you'll go to the 2018 proposals link, and there'll be a link to this PowerPoint and to this video. All right, so let's check the website out. This is our league website, the Dover Fantasy League. All right, you can see we got a little welcome page. We have some scrolling through some group pictures that we have. There's a link to each of the managers. There's a link to Wiley's Weekly Word. The league history is on here for each year, who has won the Onion, who has won the Brian Bowl. The Constitution, if you click that, you can see the proposals for 2018. You can also see our constitution that has been laid out for us. It is long. It is 6 pages. At the league draft this year, we will end up ratifying that constitution, hopefully. Pretty much just lays out all the rules we've been operating under right now. With a few minor tweaks, you can read through that on your own. But anyway, when you click on that link, it'll take you to the home page, and you'll scroll down to the league vote. You'll put in your preferred email address. You will then go down to the league fees, make your vote, either keep it $20, $30 with $5 towards the league pot, $25 league fee, or if you have another suggestion, add that here, and then we can redo the vote. Payout structure, 2 options. If you have another suggestion, put it here. We can put that to a vote. Waiver system, keep it as it was. If you go to, you get the waiver order set at the beginning of the year, the reverse of the draft order. And then if you make a claim, you go to the bottom. All right. Free agent acquisition budget once a week. So every Wednesday, our bids will clear, and then players will become free agents, and we can go from there. Free agent acquisition budget continuous, which is every day. So every single day, you would have to make free agent acquisition budgets on those players and make those bids on those players every single day. Or if you have another suggestion, right here. And then the Onion Bowl, which of those 4 options that you like, or if you have a 5th, you can put it in there. All right. If you have anything else to propose to our league or any concerns with anything, add those in here. You can type your answer in here and then submit it. If you don't have anything, if you're okay with everything, you can just type anything, blah, 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 whatever. You can type nothing, you can type N, you can type space, whatever. You do have to type something, though, before you click submit. Once you click submit, we'll get our answers. There's only 1 vote per person. So if you mess up during this process, contact me. I'll delete your submission, and you can resubmit your votes. All right, so yeah, those are our proposals for the 2018 year. Check out the website. You can come check out the new divisions. Eric and Matt Halo picked the divisions this year. We got Eric Kelly, Tom Westcott, Robert Sartori, Kyle Basin, and Aaron Kelly in the Dover division. The Wingdale division consists of Matt Kalo, Mike Cramner, Joey Mack, Rob Esposito, and James Wiley. So those are the divisions. Those are the proposals. You can go in, check out, learn about each owner. See a little goofy picture when you click on their page. Check out our league history page. You can look at the record books, see where you lie in the record books, if you have any of the highest single game scores or points for during the season, or any win, or if you're a good team and have some solid winning, like this Wiley's Dead Footballers, whoever that is, has 48 career wins. Or, if you are Joey Mack and you had 11 wins in a season, highest amount of wins ever in one season. You can go check all that stuff out. You can check the store out, which really the store is just purchasing your nameplates, which will be your job unless we vote to increase that league fee. All right. Thanks for listening. Check out the website. Make your votes.